What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 51, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode is going to be my tight end week 3 top 32 rankings in tiers. Now, before we dive into it, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you smash that subscription button. Make sure you turn that bell on so you know when I'm live. I'll be live before every kickoff. I have shows going all week. I am here to help you win weekly and win your fantasy football championships. Also, guys, if you want to see my wide receiver, running back, and quarterback videos, they are all out before this. My goal is to get all my content out before the Thursday kickoffs. It is a grind, but I am hustling, guys, and let's get it popping. So for those of you that are new in here, here is my board. I start off with the ball list here at the top. These are my must-start tight ends. And man, the tight ends just have not done anything this year. So this is my best deep dive into tight end rankings because I am even struggling with this. I mean, I cannot believe the production that has happened through 2 weeks. I mean, if you look at it right now, if you literally have 8 targets in fantasy football as a tight end, you are in the top 10 right now, which is absolutely crazy. So then you're going to see tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. And at the bottom here, you're going to see guys that have fallen out of my rankings and injured guys. So David Njoku and Evan Ingram look to be out this week. Luke Musgrave is out of my top 32 or top 30, 100%. Tucker Kraft looks like the better tight end, 100% there as well. Now, starting off with number 1, Trey the Terminator T85 McBride is my tight end 1 on the week this week. He gets the Detroit Lions. I know last week he fell into the end zone, got his, 6-point fumble recovery touchdown, which really helped his week. I mean, you can't argue there. But he's 4th in targets right now with 15. That's tied for second. There's 3 guys that are tied for second with 15 targets. And this guy never comes off the field, period. He's playing at an 84% snap rate, which is insane. This is what you want. This is why he was my tight end 1 on the year. And it's just going to get better and better from here on out. Number 2, and shout out to Big Draft Energy, my co-host of my shows. If you haven't checked out his YouTube, it is Big Draft Energy. He also tweets as well, just like I do on Twitter. Big Draft Energy, same thing there. He dove into all the research and implored me 100% that George Kittle would be tight end 1 last week, and he absolutely nailed it. And now George Kittle's value is going even skyrocketing higher. Now you have Debo out a couple weeks here. This is going to be the Kittle Ayuk show. Hopefully, I put Ayuk a lot higher in my wide receiver video earlier because I think now he's going to take off. He's getting a little more acclimated since the holdout, stuff like that. And George Kittle is about to go nuts this week. I mean, this is like the biggest smash play you can. The only problem is they're playing the LA Rams. And like you saw last week, if the 49ers get ahead and Kittle doesn't score early, you're probably going to see a full-blown Jordan Mason show here. But I still think Kittle's just going to absolutely annihilate them. Number 3. Man, oh man, every team in the NFL is realizing how mad they are that they passed the first 12 teams that passed on Brock Bowers before the Raiders drafted him at 13. This man is the generational talent. That's a term that I don't like to throw around that often. Like I used it for CJ Stroud. I used it for Trevor Lawrence, but I don't think that was a hit. But Brock Bowers, man, this guy is out of the world right now, leading the NFL in targets at tight end. You see a lot of 12 split personnels out there. He never comes off the field either. He plays at a 70% rate. And man, he is just a target monster. Like it's him and Devontae Adams. Jacoby Myers has kind of faded away a little bit. He's still kind of a sketch reliable play. But this guy is him. And we may see, guys, this is scary to say. We may see a rookie tight end be tight end 1 back-to-back years. Sam Laporta and Brock Bowers might just do it. I mean, with how the tight end production is so far this year, it's not crazy to say. Number 4, and I told you guys, this is why you subscribe. This is why you turn that bell on. This is why you watch the videos. Because I said that, God damn it, there is no way that freaking Isaiah Likely, you're going to waste all your money on the fab. Don't do it, I said. He's not going to take over this job. This is an elite Hall of Fame tight end if he was not hurt, guys. And you saw it in week 2. You saw Mark Andrews come back with 5 targets. You saw Isaiah Likely fall back to 3 targets with 26 yards. You saw Mark Andrews get 51. You saw him be the focal point of the offense with Zay Flowers, which is how it's going to go from here on out. It was a 1-game blemish where the Chiefs took Mark Andrews away. You should still be trying to buy low, if it's even possible to buy low on tight ends at this point, because Jesus, it's so rough. It's terrible. But I mean, Mark Andrews must start tight end every single week. This guy is him every time he's out there, and he's going to find the end zone here eventually. Number 5, and man, this is getting rough here for Travis Kelce. I don't know if he's more interested in just being Taylor Swift and a celebrity, or he wants to play some football here, but he looks slow, man. He looks like Father Time's caught up a little bit out of his breaks, out of his turns. You can tell he's just older. And I thought he was just injured last year, and maybe that's why he was moving slower, but I think it's just Father Time catching up. But you got to think, Isaiah Pacheco, fibula out 5 to 7 weeks. They're either going to have Carson Steele or Kareem Hunt, who they just signed. This has to be plus for Travis Kelce. And it's not like you can buy low because Travis Kelce is such a big name. That person's not going to trade him if they paid the value for it. And they know how the tight end market is right now. They won't do it. But, man, this guy has 7 targets, 4 receptions, and 37 yards. 4 receptions and 37 yards. That used to be like 5 plays for Travis Kelce. That's 2 games. This is like my last time putting him in the tier. And moving on to number 6, this is even my last time here with Sam Laporta also. I mean, Sam Laporta, tight end 1 last year, which I thought was absolutely crazy that it happened. I mean, I didn't think it would happen. Now I'm talking about Brock Bowers doing it, so I mean, it could happen again here with another rookie. But you've seen Jamison Williams just emerge onto the scene. So Sam Laporta has 8 targets, guys. That does put him in the top 10 of targets. Remember, 8 freaking targets. They were behind. They threw 55 pass attempts last game. Think about that too. And he was targeted 3 times. What is the percentage on that? So 3% would be 30. It's got to be like he's targeted at a 1.5% rate last game. Jamison Williams has 20 plus targets in 2 games. He looks electric. And my number one thing in the fantasy football drafts this year was that Sam Laporta's value is too high, and it is coming to fruition now. But it's not like it's over for him. I still think he's going to have a big game here and there. I just don't think it's going to be as consistent with Jamison Williams looking the way he looks. It's absolutely bonkers. That's the baller tier guy. Heading down to tier 7, and this one I like a lot. So when I'm looking at Dalton Kincaid, right? Dalton Kincaid didn't have a good week 1. He had a decent week 2. You know, he saw a 10-point game, which, you know, if you have a tight end, Jesus Christ, 5 points is balling. But he only has 6 targets. And his snap share last week was 42%. It was 84% week 1. So I'm very confused. I know that they got up by 30 points and the game script changed, right? But he was still looking very good when it came out early. And I love him on Monday Night Football this week. I mean, he's going to get Jacksonville. This should be a smash Dalton Kincaid game under the bright lights. Josh Allen will bounce back too. I mean, they just ran him over. So, I mean, the game script kind of took him out, but he still was the top scoring tight end, which is crazy because 10 points is glorious from the tight end position right now. Number 8, God, man, Kyle Pitts, dude. If you watched the Monday Night Football game last night, he's open, man. Get this guy the ball. 3 receptions. He's just not getting the work. And it could be Kirk Cousins, like I said earlier in the wide receiver video with Drake London. He's just getting his feet wet. He had his comeback drive. He's probably pumping you like that all in the locker room and walking out the game. He's started to find a little rhythm, so that's a good sign here. But, man, I need to see more work from Kyle Pitts. He's too good. I mean, he was like one of the tight ends that I was super high on. He got his touchdown in week 1 on a busted play, which is fine. That helps, obviously. But, man, last night I thought it was going to be a smash Pitts game, and I watched the game like furiously. I watched Kyle Pitts and Drake London on every drive, and Pitts is open, man. He's got to get more work. Headed to number 9 here, and this is if he plays. I've seen a couple updates here on Jake Ferguson saying that he's going to be good to go week 3. I'm just leaving a, caution note here. It's not fully that he's out there yet. It's just speculation that he's going to play. And if Jake Ferguson is out there, I mean, this is going to be an absolute smash game versus Baltimore. I mean, did you not see what Brock Bowers just did to the Ravens? This is a Jake Ferguson game written all over it. I should probably put him, in the top 6 here in this game. But again, he's coming off injury. That knee thing looked bad when he came down. He's coming back after 1 week. Makes me a little nervous. But, man, he had 5 targets in the first quarter against Cleveland. He's going to see absolute volume galore if he's out there and he's healthy. Number 10, my sleeper tight end of the year just popped off. Hunter Henry just had 12 targets, guys. 12. He's tied for second in the NFL in targets. I told you guys all year, if you watch any of my videos, that Hunter Henry will be the absolute focal point of this offense. He will lead them in receptions, yards, targets, touchdowns, everything. You finally got to see it a little bit. The Patriots will be playing from behind. Their schedule coming up is absolutely freaking bonkers, guys. And if you didn't watch my running back video, this is why I was saying to sell Ramondre Stevenson. I'm going to show you their schedule right now. So they get Thursday Night Football at the Jets this week. Tough matchup. 49ers week 4 at San Francisco. Very tough matchup. Miami week 5. Should have been a tough matchup, but still their defense is good. We don't know how their offense is going to look yet. Then Houston, then Jacksonville, then Tennessee, then Chicago. That's straight freaking top 6 defenses right there all in a row. You're not going to get that same kind of volume for Rams. So what does it mean? It means more pass volume playing from behind for Hunter Henry. And Hunter Henry is a startable weekly tight end from here on out, in my opinion. Number 11, and man, Dallas Goedert, man. I thought he would be like more involved here. He's out there like a psycho, guys. So he played 97% of the snaps last night, 82% of the snaps week 1. And he still got 9 targets. He's still top 10 in targets for the for the tight end position because, like I said, the tight end position has just not produced anything. But his production is minimal. And you even had A.J. Brown out last night. Like, I thought he would eat a lot more. He only had 4 targets, 38 yards, 3 receptions, didn't find the end zone. And he got that big play at the end. Like, there was no time left on the clock. It was the last play, got like 18 yards. So he literally would have had like a 16-yard game without that garbage time pass. Or not garbage time, but going for the win garbage time pass, I guess you call it. I thought he was going to be like one of the best value tight end picks in like round 10 or 11. I'm still not giving up hope because you still have AJ out for 2 to 3 more weeks. So I'm still going to keep him in my top 12 or top 11 right now where he is. But I'm getting a little nervous. He doesn't look, his athletic speed, Goddard, he looks like a little sluggish, kind of like I'm talking about Travis Kelce, but I'm hoping for improvement here. So I'm going to leave him at number 11. Number 12 is going to be Pat Freiermuth. Now, with Pat Freiermuth, you've seen Justin Fields. You know he's going to get better looks because Justin Fields targets the tight end a lot more than Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson doesn't even look at his tight ends. But still, he's had 8 targets. Again, that's in top 10 of the NFL in targets. But he's caught every reception. He still has, 66 yards total. Nothing crazy. He's never really popped on projection. He's right on with 5-6 points every game, which is how bad the tight end position is. But in this game now, you're getting the Chargers. And this is where the Chargers can get beat is tight end. This should be a good play. It just depends on how much Arthur Smith and them actually pass the ball. It's become such a run fest and such a grunge game with the Steelers. And I mean, he's probably on some wires. Like if I'm thinking about it like that, like if I pull up Justin Fields, I'll do this midstream here. This guy's only attempted 43 passes in 2 games. That's at a 21.5 average. And if you want to think about it like this, Jared Goff just threw 53 passes. So Justin Fields in 2 games has 10 less attempts than Jared Goff had in week 2. So this pass offense it's going to be like a hit and that's it because you're not going to get a lot of volume because they're going to grind you on defense and they're going to grind you on the run game with Najee and they're going to grind you with Warren. Justin Fields going to do some option runs here and there. And it's just a tough value, but man, it's still Pat Freiermuth, so I'm still leaving him in my top 12. Heading down to tier 3 here, guys. This one I really liked a lot, and it didn't hit. So I was even pumping up, Puka Nakua's out. Colby will be the second look here, and Colby Parkinson was not the second look, guys. But here's the good thing, right? Now you even have Cooper Kupp out. So he played 88% of the snaps week 1. He played 81% of the snaps week 2. Didn't see any volume, but now your 2 superstars are out of the game. So, like, how does this guy not eat, right? Like, if you any common sense in fantasy football, volume is king. This should be Colby Parkinson seeing at least 5 to 6 to 7 targets a game with all the injuries they have. I'm hoping it comes to fruition because he's looked okay. I mean, game 1 he had 5 targets, game 2 he had 2, 1 reception, 12 yards, 4 receptions, 47 yards. I mean, now. Like, how do I not like this? You get the 49ers. The 49ers are very good versus tight end. Fred Warner is the best in the business. I mean, Jesus, he's insane. But still, the volume should be here. They should be playing from behind, and he should see enough opportunity to be a startable tight end with how tight ends are this season. Number 14, Zach Ertz, my start tight end that hit last week. Barely one of them because it's so hard to call this position right now. The Commanders are going to go to the Bengals on Monday night, right? And the Bengals have gotten, or Hunter Henry got hurt week 1, I guess, against them. You could say that. But, I mean, this looks like Jaden Daniels' go-to guy. He's led them in targets now for 2 games. Well, not in targets, I mean, catches. So, Terry McLaurin had 8 targets last game, but he, it didn't turn out well. So 4 catches, 4 targets, 4 targets, 3 catches, and he almost has 100 yards. And this man is like 36 years old. He's old as dirt. I really want to see Sanat out there, but you can't say right now that Zach Ertz is not a startable tight end with how bad the league of tight end is right now. So he's in my top 15 tight ends, ranked at 14. Number 15, the guy I told you guys to watch out for, Isaiah Likely. Didn't have the game he wanted. I firmly believe that week 1 was just a crazy blemish of them focusing on Mark Andrews. And you saw it here. He played under 50% of the snaps. He got 3 targets, 26 yards. I said, don't waste a ton of fab on him. It's still going to be the Mark Andrews show. I don't like starting him just because of Mark Andrews, but I like owning him as a handcuff if I own Mark Andrews. Because if anything happens to Mark Andrews, we know his injury history. Instantly, Isaiah Likely becomes a tight end 1. He can drop 20 points. We saw it last year. He dropped 20 points twice at the end of the season. He probably won some people some championships. So I like him as the handcuff, but I do not like starting him. I don't know why people last week thought that was a smart move. I never believed it. I don't believe it the rest of the way. And the rest of these tight ends from here on out, it's going to get ugly, guys. This position's been so rough. Coming up next is a guy I said was a must start as well. Last week it was Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki, guys, saw 9 targets. 9. He was the second most targeted tight end in the NFL last week. Kittle had 8. Dulcich had 8. Also, we'll get to that later. Bowers had 9 as well with him to tie him. And, man, you know that T. Higgins is probably coming back. He's getting acclimated with the system. He's learning, Zach's whole system, I guess, since he's been traded there. He's always on the move somewhere, it seems like. But his snap share went up, but so did Eric Alls. So Eric Alls is a superstar rookie out of Iowa tight end they drafted that came off a major injury that would have been drafted way higher if he wasn't, hurt. But I still feel like the rapport is what matters, and Gesicki and Burrow are building a little rapport here. So it's kind of an interesting play. Monday night you get, the easiest matchup you're ever going to get in the Commanders. So if you're looking for a tight end, so you have Evan Ingram out, so you have Njoku down, I'm fine with throwing Mike Gesicki on Monday Night Football dart throw. If you get 4 points from the tight end, you're happy at this point. So I'd take the shot on him. I like him as a decent play this week because he saw 9 targets and volume is king. I'm even ranking him ahead of Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz was the tight end that I was not targeting at all in drafts, period. Just because the target share is insane with all the wide receivers there. And he's not going to get looked at, man. He has 6 targets in 2 games. He has 35 yards. This guy's so touchdown dependent. It's boom, boom, or nothing, pretty much. And that's what I was saying all draft. That's why I didn't touch Dalton Schultz in best ball, anything, any of my leagues. I don't have any Dalton Schultz. And you can't even get out from him if you kind of paid that 10th, 9th round pick for him. Coming up, he is going to make my tier 2 here, guys. Noah Fant. And the only reason that he's going to be making my tier 2 here is literally because I like what I'm seeing from the Seattle Seahawks offense. And this is what you have to like as well. So Noah Fant, between the 2 weeks, week 1 and week 2, has played 78% of the snaps in both games, which ranks in the top 10. That's solid production, and volume is out there. There's a lot of weapons as well. Just like I said, if you're looking at, Dalton Schultz, right? You got Tank Dell, you got Nico Collins, you got Stephon Diggs. Seattle side, you got DK, you got JC's, and you got Lockett. I get that. But still, I like the percentage. So I'd rather start a guy that's out there 80% of the time even if he's blocking, than a guy that's out there 50% of the time. So I'm leaving him here just volume based. Heading down to tier 3, guys. We saw a little action here. We got a little Jonnu Smith on Thursday night, and this one is interesting in ways here to me. However it's going to play out, I know I don't have it yet, right? I don't know however it's going to play out with Skylar Thompson at quarterback, let's be honest. But here's what you have to like. So week 1, learning the system, 28% of the snaps, didn't do anything. Week 2, 42% of the snaps out there, almost, 20% more than week 1, getting a little more acclimated. These 7 targets. Gets the third most targets in the NFL. Yes, there was a ton in garbage time. There was 2 or 3 catches late in the game, but they count, man. And if he's still out there in garbage time at age 29, you have to like that. And he's a very athletic tight end. And now if you have Skylar Thompson at quarterback, you could be looking for a security blanket, which, you know, they're going to be covering Waddle and Tyreek Hill either way. This could be a decent tight end play. And I'm not saying start him or anything like that crazy, but I'm saying keep your eye out on him because he just saw 7 targets. And that's something you have to keep your eye on if you're playing fantasy football. Coming into the next one here, Cole Kmet. And I don't know how to break this one down really because, well, we'll go like this. So Cole Kmet, week 1, he was dropped everywhere in fantasy football, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, why did I waste the pick on Cole Kmet? He only played 48% of the snaps week 1, and they were in the game. Now you go week 2, you have Keenan Allen out. You have Rome Odunze banged up. He plays 77% of the snaps. He sees 5 targets. He gets more involved, right? Now we could see Keenan back. Gerald Everett's still out there a little bit. I mean, he's very touchdown dependent. I don't like him as a start, especially with all them out there. But, you know, you have Keenan's old age, his injury history. Rome's already banged up. So, I mean, he's someone to keep your eye on for sure. If, you know, say you're missing Evan Ingram or you're missing Njoku or something like that. But besides that, I'm going to keep him at tight end 20. And it's all tough from here, guys. 21 is going to be Tyler Conklin. The New York Jets get the New England Patriots Thursday night. And I think this is going to be a Garrett Wilson feast game here. But if you need a dart thrower, like a DFS play throw here for Tyler Conklin, I'm fine with that. But when I'm also looking at Tyler Conklin, what's changed a lot from last year is his snap share. So he used to be one of the top guys that was out there a ton, you know, like 84%. And now he's down in the 60s. It's gotten ugly. So not a fan there. If I'm looking at even his targets, he doesn't even, you know, come in the top 20 of targets on anything. I thought Aaron Rodgers would feed him more. We are early into the season. It is only, you know, 2 games. They had a very rough matchup week 1 where they were kept off the field a ton by the 49ers. So you never really got to see their offense. I mean, he has 4 targets and 4 targets, 2 catches, 16 yards on the season. It's rough, guys. But I still like him better. Moving into my rankings finally is Taysom Hill, just because the tight end position is so bad. I mean, I told everyone to avoid this guy all year, everyone to avoid the starts all year. It's too much of a lottery game. You don't want to play it. He's had 3 targets, guys, and 2 receptions and 2 yards. It's not good. None of it's good. It never was. The jack of all trades is 34 years old. Looks like it's washed up and done. But with how bad the tight end position is, I will keep him here. Moving down to tier 4, Tucker Kraft is an interesting one. Not a great one, but an interesting one because if you follow any of my content beginning of the year, I said he was better than Luke Musgrave. He'll take the job. And he was hurt, and he's still taking the job. All camp, he has more targets. He has more receptions. He has more yards. He has 5 targets, 4 receptions, and, 53 yards. Nothing great. But with Malik Willis, he's not going to throw it deep. He's going to keep it short. I like the DFS dart throw play here with him for a possible touchdown like you got with Dontavian Wicks last week. But none of these guys from here on out are going to be, serious starts. But this guy is the one that I've been pumping up, and it's creeping up. It's creeping up. It's creeping up. Greg Dulcich was my sleeper tight end of the year. Why was he my sleeper tight end of the year? Because the Broncos have no wide receivers, and they're going to play every game from behind. I mean, you've seen their offense. It's absolutely terrible. Now, if I told you that Greg Dulcich was 7th in tight end targets, would you believe me? He is. He has 11 targets at the tight end position, 5.5 a game. He's number 7 targeted tight end. And this is a guy you need to keep your eye on 100%. This is like, it's going to pop. People forget that he was the Mackey or runner-up Mackey in college, second best tight end coming out of UCLA. He just had his injury to start the season. He's averaging 65% of the snaps, still a little split, but it's getting better as it goes. And he's going to be out there more and more and more, and he's going to see more volume. And he's the most athletic guy they have out there. It's crazy to say, but he is. And I've been interested in him all year. I'm just waiting for it to pop, but the volume is here, guys. The volume is coming. This is like if he's on your waiver wire and you have any of these tight ends from Mike Gesicki down, right? So if I said Mike Gesicki to Greg Dulcich, I'd rather own Greg Dulcich than all these guys in fantasy football ahead of him. Heading on to the next guy here, Chig Okonkwo at 24. I mean, he had a touchdown week 1, super dependent touchdown for Chig. Besides that, you have Will Levis. I mean, I kind of backed up Will Levis in week 1 saying, in my quarterback video that he had 2 tough matchups. Man, they were brutal matchups defensively. I mean, he played against the top 2 teams defensively. Now, the Tennessee Titans get the Green Bay Packers. Great dart throw chance here. I mean, they should see a lot of volume. Their defense is good. They should be able to stop the Packers. They're going to pound Josh Jacobs. You might be able to get a little dart play, touchdown here. Very dependent. I don't like him for a start or anything else as that. Number 25, Cade Otton. Oh, number 26, Cade Otton. And we're at it again here with Cade Otton. I mean, this is unbelievable, guys. So, if I'm looking at 2023, I'm looking at snap share per team percentage by a tight end. Cade Otton was 97% number 1. He never came off the field, but he was a ghost. And I thought it was Dave Canales' system, because then I look at Dave Canales' system. He drafts Jatavion Sanders, who I liked out of college. He's my 30th tight end, by the way. We'll do them both at the same time. And Jatavion Sanders is out there running the same thing. Win sprints, not being targeted at all. But he is a rookie, so I'll get a little break there. But now I go to 2024, and I look at the number 1 snap share tight end that's out there. And who do you think the number 1 snap share tight end that's played the most snaps this season is? It's Cade Otton. And he's just not producing shit. I don't understand it. I don't get it. He's not a bad tight end. It's just like Baker doesn't look at his tight ends because he's got Godwin and Evans. They're too damn good, and McMillan. And he's just buried. But, man, the volume is there. It's something I definitely always pay attention to. And, man, he's going to be out there all year long. So he's always going to have a chance to get a touchdown. He never come off the field. So there's that. 27 here, Jawan Johnson. You want every part of the Saints offense right now. He can get a touchdown any week. It's also a gamble, but you can get it. I mean, he hit it in week 1, and he barely even played. Like, if I pull it up, let me see Jawan here. I don't even think he's played that many snaps. He's played 37% of the snaps in both games. Not good. Not a lot of production. 3 targets. Wasn't even targeted in week 2, but he got the touchdown in week 1. Dart throw play is always here with him. Nothing else. I don't really like starting him. A guy that you should be paying attention to on your wire right now as well is Theo Johnson. So, rookie out of Penn State, gets the job over Bellinger. His snap share has now gone up over 80%, but he wasn't targeted at all in the Washington game. Danny Dimes was just full blazing Malik Neighbors with every single pass, no matter how bad or good it was. And I firmly believe that Theo's going to get more involved here. He had 4 targets in week 1, but again, 1 catch, because you get about a 50% catch radius with Danny Dimes throwing you the ball. It's absolutely terrible, which is what you saw with Malik Neighbors last week. I mean, still interesting because, again, volume, and he's a rookie, and he's going to learn and get better and better, and he's someone I'm keeping my eye on here. Last but not least, last was Jatavion Sanders, but not least, Dawson Knox. I mean, for some reason, Dawson Knox is still seeing minimal production cutting into Dalton Kincaid. But if you look at it here, last season they were at like a 60 or like 65, not 65. I think it was like 55, 45, 57, 43 between them. Now, week 1, it was like 80 to 40. They run a couple of 12 personnels. And then again, he's playing 53% snaps, so it went down. But again, they blew him out in week 2. But still, I mean, I don't like anything here except for a dart throw, DFS play, hoping for a touchdown. Maybe I'm not starting this guy. I'm not looking to get this guy in any single way. Now, to recap my tight ends for week 3, guys, for those of you listening on Apple and Spotify here, I'll bring it out for you. And tight ends are tough, man. Got to give me a little break here. This is not easy. This is a weird season for tight ends. My ballers tier, trade the Terminator T85 McBride, George Kittle, Brock Bowers is number 3. Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta. Heading out of tier 1, Dalton Kincaid, Kyle Pitts, Jake Ferguson, Hunter Henry, Dallas Goedert, Pat Freiermuth. Heading out of tier 2, Colby Parkinson, I like a lot. I just want to see more volume. Zach Ertz, Isaiah Likely, Mike Gesicki, Dalton Schultz, Noah Fant. Tier 3, Jonnu Smith, I'm interested in. Cole Kmet, Tyler Conklin, Taysom Hill. Tier 4, Tucker Kraft, Greg Dulcich. I always have my eye on Chigakonkwo, K. Dot, and Jawan Johnson. Tier 5, Theo Johnson, little deep sleeper to think about. Dawson Knox, Jatavion Sanders. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That was episode 51, my tight end week 3 rankings. I did my best. The Titans are absolutely crazy this season. That is the best dive-in breakdown I could give you with how it's going. It's so bad this year. It's absolutely bonkers. Before we head out, guys, make sure you hit that heart, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on so you know when I'm live. And if you have any fantasy football comments, period, anything you want, drop them in the comments below. I will answer them as fast as I can, guys. And remember, if you want to check out my QB, running back, wide receivers, I got all my rankings out today. This is my tight end now. My defense and kickers will come tonight, and then that's it for tonight. And then tomorrow I will grind out all my stardom sit-ems. I'll give you a couple bounce back players as well and some smash start videos after that. And I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. All you guys have been amazing. It's been an awesome journey. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. SleezBall out.